Right, so we're working on a 2004 Cadillac Escalade, and we are going to be picking over the ignition to acquire the key code that's stamped on it. Basically, what I look for on these is any GM vehicle that has these little horns hanging off the face of the ignition plastics. They're pickable, and once you get them picked over, you can turn the ignition over, start the car, and get the ignition lock cylinder out. So I already started. You don't want to pull the plastics underneath. Got that off right there. They use a T25. It's a torque T25 to get those off, and then you'll need I believe it's a 5mm to remove another set of inverted Torx that are located up here. They've already broke theirs out, so I won't need to do that, but normally you'll need like a 5mm inverted Torque or a 5mm just socket. We'll pull them right out. So I'm gonna start by getting the top plastics off, and then move to the next step. So top plastics are off. Got those guys off. They're tight fit, a little hard to get off, but that is where that other screw sat, was right there. The inverted Torque and the 5mm, and that should be the only one. Sometimes they hide one on this side as well. On this little arm, looks like there used to be one there as well. That's gone. So next step is going to be this little metal ring. That holds the plastics on. So you have the plastics and some metal ring or a clamp that wraps around. You're basically going to use a flathead screwdriver and a hammer to cut the clamp. Basically what you're going to be doing is hammering it off. So I'll be able to get this set up on here. Let's see. Right there. So this little metal ring is basically what you're going to be hammering off. I'll show you in just a moment. Let me get it chiseled off, because that's all you do is chiseling on it. And once it's cut, it'll just come right off. So hold up, and just like that, chiseled through it. Basically, it's just a little flimsy little ring, and you just pull that off like so. There it is. It's trash after the fact. Now you have this. This is just held on by a couple little plastic clips, and that should just pop right off. Bada bing, bada boom, just like that. All right. So next step, at the 7, 8 o'clock position, 7 o'clock, you're gonna have a. Let me see if I can get an angle on it. You're gonna have a sidebar, a little black sidebar right there. Basically, it's a small gap in the ignition. Right there, just a little cutout, basically. It's kind of hard to see. You can't see it without removing the face of the ignition. Once you got it out, it's clearly visible. That's the sidebar. So what we have to do is apply pressure to the sidebar and hold that pressure on there with a small pick that you would jam down inside that little canal right there, and apply pressure to that sidebar. Once pressure has been applied, you're basically going to rake the living shit out of the ignition. Just make sure you're aware which side the wafers are on. In this case, it looks like they're on the bottom, not the top. So you're going to rake the shit out of that side of the ignition. And after you think you've raked it enough, you're going to try to turn it over with a flathead screwdriver. Once you get the click over just the tiniest of bit, you're going to force out the tool that you're using to apply pressure to that sidebar we talked about, located right in there, and the ignition should turn over. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll be right back with you. Basically, these are what I'm going to use. I usually use this guy right here. That's why it's bent. So this is what I always use it for. I jam this guy right here down inside of that canyon. So got it in there just a few inches, just enough to apply pressure so I can pick at it. So set this right here. A good spot for it. That'll work. we're gonna take our pick, which is this guy right here. Apply pressure on that guy, and just rake. It's like sawing at it. Keep applying hard pressure on that. Once you get it turned just a little bit, once you get pressure on the sidebar screwdriver, and we didn't get it enough because it's still not turning, so we're gonna want to continue to rake that ignition over. So let's do it again. Rake. Screwdriver, got it. A little click. Don't let go, because if you let go, you're gonna lose that tension. And now you're gonna grab this guy and you're gonna force it out, and that just like that. Pick the ignition over. Dash lights turn on. We can actually start the car because the battery's dead, so otherwise we would be able to start it. But regardless, it's actually a good thing the battery's disconnected, because that'd be the next thing I was gonna do. In order to get this ignition out, you have to hold it in the on position and then poke a little poke tool down inside this hole. That's where the little locking pin is, that's holding the cylinder in and preventing it from coming out. So what we're gonna do is we are going to grab a micro screwdriver. Just a little mini screwdriver, so that'll fit down in that hole. I like to bite the ignition with a pair of vice grips. That way you can pull on it while you're turning it. So, by turning, put your little tool down inside this hole and wiggle. And just like that, the ignition will come right out. Sweet. There she is. There is our ignition lock cylinder. So now, what we need to do is locate the key code. Let's see if this one's even got one. Pretty nasty. Seems dirty. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Be right back. So I'm having a little trouble locating it. It's pretty nasty and pretty dirty. They usually aren't this gross, but a little WD-40 will fix that right up. So just one sec.